Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking.
All right, thank you, Suzanne, for coming on for another episode of Tuesday's Tips. For those of you who don't know and you've lived under a rock for the past few years, this is Suzanne Caldera with Guaranteed Rate Mortgage. She is an expert in her field. I love having her on. Today, we're going to talk about something very interesting because as we saw over the last few months, interest rates went, I'm going to say, through the roof, and relative to the year before, they did, and now they're inching back down. Well, I'd like to know, Suzanne, what does that do to the affordability for a buyer for what they can afford to purchase for a home when interest rates go up to 7.5% or drop down to 6%? Or what can you share with us there? Is there a big difference?
Yeah, there actually is, Jeremy. So in the fall, let's say you were a home buyer in the fall, you would qualify for a $387,000 purchase price when rates were somewhere around 7.5. Using today's numbers where rates are somewhere around 6, you can qualify for a $450,000 house. So that's pretty much about a 15% difference in price and in buying power. So, there's a lot of good news for buyers right now. Sellers are reducing prices. Inventory starting to tweak up a little bit. Spring is under 60 days away. And this is a prime time, if you're a buyer, to get out there, reach out to somebody like Jeremy or your realtor and tell them, hey, I want to start searching again. Because the more people start figuring this out, the more we're going to start seeing FOMO again and start seeing those lines. Because, affordability is still it's at way better levels, especially than it was in the fall.
100%. Thank you so much. And you hit the nail on the head, and I'm glad you mentioned that, was as we get into the spring market, especially if rates start creeping down a little bit more, we're going to see a flood of buyers come back into the market again that were previously pushed out late last year. So if you're interested in purchasing a home, now is really a good time. I'm seeing buyers, like you said, that are starting to call and be like, well, interest rates coming back down. I'm thinking about revisiting. Okay, well, let's revisit. On my listings, I'm seeing activity start to really increase. At the end of last year, I had some listings that hung around for a little bit because the rate shot up so quickly. And now that they've dropped back down, all of them are getting a flood of activity. We're getting offers, we're negotiating, and they're all going to be off the market probably within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I've been saying it over and over again. This is one of the best buyers markets that I've seen in a really, really long time. So if you're out there, if you're thinking about buying, don't know where to begin. Of course, I'm raising my hand. Of course, Jeremy's raising his hand, but we love giving the education, and I've been so grateful that I've been able to be a guest on your program for so long, Jeremy.
All right. Thank you, Suzanne. These are awesome tips. Again, we'll flash our information below. Feel free to reach out to me as a realtor, reach out to Suzanne as your preferred lender, and let's see if we can't help you make your homeownership dream a reality in 2023.
Definitely.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday's Tips. I'm Jeremy Bailey, your flying realtor. Remember to keep your wings level, and I get a fly.